Let me share. I want to see. Okay, so I think till this point we've covered, right? Netflix Flynn client using client-side load balancing. Right? So I think we have covered the things like on this discovery pattern. It's like sorry, the routing pattern. First is the discovery pattern. How we can use Eureka to do the service registration, right? And second thing what you have covered, it's like client lookup for service addresses. It is like that we are using the client side load balancing, that is using Netflix pin, right? And also the Eureka client, right? And here I think yes, now the last thing is gateway, right? Gateway means now what we'll have multiple microservice, right, which is running on multiple ports, multiple places, right? So let me show you what I'm trying to say. Let me run this Eureka server once again. So if I run this Eureka server once again, and if I see what is the dashboard, I can see that there will be, as of now, service A is running, service B is running, one instance of service A and another instance of service B, right? And if I run service B second application, we run this. Okay, now Eureka server is running, I believe. Let me go to the localhost 6008 so I can see. Okay, so we can see service A ka one instance and two instance of service B is running, which is fine. So if I go to the service A is having a one port, right? Sorry, it is calling one API that is a one port, right? And during the runtime, it is using fin client to know the instance of service B, right? It is not tight coupled or anything you or I were not giving, right? Now the thing is like it is service B is calling to service A, that is fine. But if I have multiple microservices, right? Service A, service B, service C, service D, right? Lots of microservices, and you want to so few microservices will be client facing, or we can say that open. It is like that service A, it's the external facing microservice, but service B might not be the external facing, right? So how then client will, that is one problem. Second problem is right, how many URL the client, the external client who don't know, right, about the what is how many microservice you have written, right? So you need to give all the URL, and your URL will also be changed, might change, right? Because service A might have running today, it is running 192.168.0.3, tomorrow it might be running in some several places, right? So how you can give them a single point that okay, you run this API, sorry, you hit this URL, you will get all the things, right? How to configure that. So let's see how Spring Cloud uh, gateway is solving the problem. Let me first draw a diagram so it will be little bit easy for everyone. Any question? So assume that this is my another client. This is service A, this is service B, right? And assume that this is running on 1.1.1.1, this is running on 2.2.2.2, config server running on, assume that in a separate location, right? 3.3.3.3. okay, now let me just draw the arrow. It is calling config server, it is also calling config server, and config server is taking help of GitHub, right? So this is the strategy, right? Now but I know there is my one of my external client, right? It is like okay. Assume that I am a give a different draw, right? Assume that I want to call service A few endpoint and service B few endpoint, okay? Now I should be abstracted whatever happening inside this microservice environment, right? I should I should reach out to only one endpoint. So what Spring Cloud is saying, okay, don't worry. I'll do. I'll create a another uh, another. I'll give you one more configuration, which is the Spring Cloud Gateway. Right. This is my cloud gateway. Spring Cloud Gateway. And what it does, it actually assume that it is a server. It is also a server. It is a separate application using Spring Cloud Gateway, and it is running on 5.5.5.5. okay, okay. Now this is my client, external client. Okay, now what Spring is saying, okay, you can, so we have another thing, so let me draw that diagram also. Shared shape, assume that this is my Eureka server. Okay, so every client is registering themselves in that Eureka server, right? Initially, here is also connected, here is also, I don't know, let me do that manner. Okay, here is also connected, and what is saying that, okay, it is also get it registered in the Eureka server, so it is a Eureka client also, right? And it knows the location of the client service A, client service B, how many instances of client service A or how many instances of client service, everything it knows. Okay, so when external client assume want to reach to service A any endpoint, so how it should reach? It should call what it is saying that, okay, let's do one thing, call http colon double slash 5.5.5.5, right? To port chodo port, you can give that 8080, right? Then you need to just so Spring Cloud Gateway, how it works, you need to configure something so that uh, I'll give the what service, right, I want to reach. So the unique ID of that service, assume that that is the service A, okay, slash API slash v1 slash port. Okay, so this is the, so it needs to reach to service A. It can use that 5.5.5.8080 service A API v1 port. Okay, it will reach to the service C. Similarly, if it needs to reach to direct, the service B, what it can do, it can type 5.5.5.5, okay, 8080 service B slash API slash v1 slash whatever the endpoint you want to write, right? If the port is the endpoint, that is fine, port, right? So external client can only use that endpoint, right? Only use the endpoint of Spring Cloud Gateway, and it can reach to the all the services what it want. Okay. So this is the high level things. Now if we go drill down the things how it works actually, so basically Spring Cloud Gateway is very, so initially actually Spring Cloud Gateway is not famous. Initially it was a Zool. You might heard multiple times. Zool is the Netflix product, so they created it. But Zool is having lots of problem. It's like that it is not blocking. So there are two types of things. If you in this modern day, what is happening that reactive programming, there is a way like you can use the project reactor in Spring, right? You can just take a look what it is happening. It is happening like that. Assume that I'm just describing the problem, so you can imagine why we are not using Zool. So Zool is built on some library which is like, suppose that, let's assume a simple use case that you are running one controller, right? And that controller is you are just calling from external endpoint. Controller is going to service is going to repository is going to I think the database, then it is calling you, means it is getting the data, it will give you back, right? So this approach is called the blocking approach. Means your thread, what thread you have initiated, right, during controller, right, explicitly, if you're not maintaining anything or you are not doing any other asynchronous or creating a new thread, what it is doing, the thread will be blocked until that database is giving the response, right? If any places, if you're reading a file or database is taking time, your thread will be blocked. Okay, so that is called blocking approach. Then I think the project reactor is initiated by Pivotal, which is a, the parent company for the Spring Boot, right? So they initiated one thing, okay, let's add some project which is a project reactor. Whereas, inside your application you have assumed that you have a limited number of threads, and you don't want to waste or block the thread, right? So there should be non-blocking approach. Non-blocking approach, when we think something is coming to our mind, that how, if I at any point of time, if I leave write one function to to execute without using any thread, or we are just releasing the thread to do anything, right, any other task, right, how then we will come back, or we can get the result from the previous ones, right? That's a very complicated things, right? So that's what project reactor develops something, so that it's like that. What is happening, that you as a consumer, you want to consume something, right? Instead of that, if I write something that, okay, you are a consumer, your work is to first give me the information. Now I'm a producer, when I'm done I'll inform you that I'm done, so you can take my data, instead of you waiting for me for unlimited time. Okay? This is the non-blocking approach, right? So this Zool was built on the servlet. So servlet is a blocking approach. Then the Spring Cloud Gateway is built on the the reactive approach, or the web flags, right, and the mono things, right? So that's what we are going to use this this Spring Cloud Gateway. And how this gateway work, if you saw the diagram what I was mentioning, it is like that external client will identify service A, right? This is the port, this is the whatever the thing. So by looking at this, you can understand the gateway should have configured using something so that it should know any request which is pointing, any request it is coming with service A, where I need to write, route to, right? It should know some configuration it would need to be done, right? So how this Spring Cloud Gateway works, it takes care of the three item. One is routes, second is predicate, third is filter. Let's see what are those. Routes as it like it contains the ID and URI. So suppose I'm defining one route in my gateway service. There I'll give a routes ID that can be random string or anything. URI is the where this route should reach to. So suppose that I'm creating the route for service A, right? The URI should be mentioned for service A. Okay. And next thing is like set of predicates and sets of filter. What is sets of predicate? Because predicate it's like that you can, if you can think like type of Java 8 predicates, right? So it is like that. Yes, it is like that. Exactly. So lots of condition you can write there wherever there, so that all those condition if matches, then it will route redirect, or it will route your traffic to that URI or that routes. And the last thing is filter. There these are instance of gateway filter. Filter is basically to it is not like that filter predicate filter. It is like the you can think of that servlet filter what you already discuss or design in some way. It's like that you want to inject some information inside the request, or you want to send a response header, right, irrespective of all the calls. But service A is not giving that service, that header, but you individually want to give that header, right, for any request, right? So that type of thing, right? So this is the three things, right? We are going to implement, right? What are the things? So let's see what we can do. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's come here and let's create a, okay, okay, sorry, let's, I am actually using the starter project initializer, and here what I need to do, sorry, I need to use this Spring Web Gateway and Eureka Discovery client, right? And I'll give the package name as Photon, and this is my gateway service. Okay, so this is my Spring Web. I'm taking the Spring Cloud Gateway routing. So let me start it from, this is the Spring Web. I'm taking the gateway, sorry, Spring Cloud routing, and it should be the Eureka client because I don't want to give the hard coded URL, right? So Eureka Discovery client, right? Now I'll generate the WAR file. Okay, then I will move this WAR file to my microservice training. Okay, here in the pom.xml I'll add that module. Gateway service, let me build it into Okay, what is saying? No. Okay, so what you need to do first, right? So now all the dependency will be there, but I'll create the, because I'm doing the external configuration. But if you are not using external, you can directly write everything in the application.properties, no issue. But let me use the application.properties as we are using for all the files, right? So I'll create another file, and I will just type it bootstrap st dot properties. Okay, and in the bootstrap dot properties I need to give everything like what I have given here. Okay, I'm giving the application name as a gateway. Now cloud config is running on 60,001. This is the 9 and I make it 9. So this is, sorry, 1 and this is refresh and this is 9, right? So this is the server.port 60,009. Here I am running this bootstrap dot properties file, right? Now what I need to do, application name gateway. Now what I need to do next, I need to create another file, right? New, I can copy one and paste it. I need to give the name of gateway dot properties. Okay, now gateway dot properties, I'll remove this server dot port here. I can remove the greeting message, it is not required. Yes, server, because this is a Eureka client, so I need this Eureka client, right? Now what are the next thing I need to do, right? Let's see what are the next thing. First thing, what I need to use that, I need to first, the discovery client should be enabled. Okay, else I can't do the things. Let me first try. So first of all, spring, right, dot cloud dot gateway, right, spring dot cloud dot gateway. Then I need to give routes, right, and I need to give multiple routes. So how I need to just set a array of routes. So routes dot 0, this is my first route, right, and route will have a ID. Okay, now I can type service a route. Okay, this is my service a route, and as I mentioned earlier that every route will have a ID, pretty ID actually, and URI. Okay, and predicate. Now predicate, how to write the predicate, actually this is the lots of predicate it can take. So just take a look how I am writing. So it will be routes 0 dot, right, predicates will be the again a array. Okay, and here the thing is like you need to give what type of predicate you want to give. So as of now we are only thinking about the path type predicate, right? There are other type of predicate also we can use and explore the things, like we can route something that, okay, this is having, this is header, right, request header or request parameter, so you should route this traffic to this, right? Lots of other things are there in the predicate. You can, based on the cookies, based on the header, based on the query parameter, right, you can use this. As of now we are only thinking about the path. So here I will just type path is equal to, if I type service a, right, now what will be the URI? Okay, so if I am using the discovery client, it's like that we are using the Eureka client, right? This URI is very simple: LV load balance, okay, colon your register service name. Okay, now exactly what you see in the Eureka server. Exactly. This will be one, one, one. Right. This is the service B, service B, service B. Okay. No, path will be equals to, yeah. So basically predicates 0, then path will be equals to, because this is the standard for I think Spring Cloud. The predicates, how it takes the predicate. Sometime that you are using some query parameter, right? Query parameter should be there, then value should be there. So how it takes like that query, right? It will be like, instead of path, if you are putting a filter, so you need to write like this way: ERY is equal to, what is your parameter? Assume that red, query parameter should be red and इसका value should be green. ठीक है, assume. तो आपको ऐसे देना पड़ेगा, equals to red query equals to red comma green. This is a standard format to give a predicate. Don't assume that this is a another. So this is a value, it's string you are giving. Now it is again parsing the value and it is configuring it. Okay. Okay, so these are the things you need to write in the gateway. Okay, that is fine. Gateway.properties, so I have configured it. Now here I have configured it. This is the gateway. Now let's see what we need to do in the gateway service application. Gateway service application, you need to just keep two annotation. What is that? First is enable Eureka client. It should be unique Eureka client, right? And you need to also enable the discovery client, right? That's all. Now if I run this application, something is wrong. Let me take a look. Hmm? Yes, yes, sorry. Say I'm doing wrong thing. Yes, I need to commit these changes into Git. Git push. Okay. Now we need to take a look. Let me rerun that application. Let's see if it is taking that or not. No, I No, it is not. Okay, ठीक है, देखते हैं, I think. Oh, sorry. I think we have taken the Eureka client, but where we have taken the Spring Cloud config client, right? We haven't taken the dependency, right? So we need to add that. Then it will work. That is the problem. Okay. So let's take the departure. Let me copy this to the Spring Cloud config and Spring Cloud Bootstrap, right? I need to copy from here. Then I need to use in the pom.xml of gateway service, right? Then it will work. Let it resolve. Let me rerun this. Yes, ये bootstrap भी add कर लेना. So I think bootstrap is not there. Sometimes it doesn't work. Let me paste that in Notepad. Yes, it is running now. ठीक है. Now let's see if you what we can do. So this is my application properties, bootstrap, everything is fine. Now let's see that if the gateway is running successfully or not, right? So I need to take a look. This will be my URL, right? Localhost 60009 service a api v1.prot. Okay, so if I run this, what it is saying, service a api v1 port, it is not fine. Why it is saying that? Not found. So route is having any problem. Let me take a look. What I'm writing here, lb colon service a routes path with this one. Gateway routes id URL predicates. Just some type A. No, I think 60,001 is running, right? Because 60,009, right? I have mentioned here. Server.port is equal to how much I gave here. 60,009, right? That is fine. Spring Cloud application. It is hosting, right? Everything 60,009 registering service registration. Oh, sorry. I need to do one more thing. That is the main thing I forgot, that I need to enable it actually, because I need to tell him that discover enable you need to do, right? So how to do this? Let me show you what is I have written somewhere in some file. That's what it is not running. What I need to do for that? Mm, this one I need to write. Spring Cloud Gateway Locator enabled. Okay, this is the thing I need to type. Then it will work. Okay. So I need to go into configuration config. Then I need to write this. Okay. Then if I do the git commit, then if I do the git push, then if I rerun this, right? So one thing I just want to explain here. If you can see, these are the route predicate factory. Okay, so let me give at least a few things, right, so that you can understand what are the predicates it's supported here. First predicate is after. Suppose you want to give a specific time that after, if the current time is after that time, it should route to this. This is a one predicate. Okay. Second is before that time this predicate would happen. So it's like that before that time, if it is coming with this, it should be routed, right, to this gateway or this route. Okay, between the two time frame it should happen. If you can say cookies, there is a one cookie that if this cookies is coming with a request header or request, in the request, then it should route to this header, right? Host is a very important thing whenever you are actually hitting something, right? So in the request body, you are sometime mention this request host, right? So and we can do the filter based on that. If it is coming from this host, then it should be routed to there. Method, path, query. And I think these are the clear thing. I think read body, I'm not sure what is this. Remote address is like if it is remote address. Wait is like that you want to group of route. You have a group of route, you want to do some load balancing, like this group should get 80% load, this group should get 20% load, right? You can do the similar thing in the predicate, right, in the wait also. And cloud foundry route, so this is a cloud foundry thing. So but as of now we are only using the path. Okay, we are not using any other things, but you can use all those things, right, in your gateway to make sure that you are using the correct mechanism, and everything is there, right, which will meet your requirement, right, based on that, right, whatever you want to do. Okay, so now my gateway service application is up. Let me run this, and it should run. Let's see. Yeah, it is running. Okay, service A, so API v1 port. So if I run it again, right, it will give me, I think, 60,005, because it is happening on the fin client level, right? 60,006, 60,005. Okay, now similarly if I go to the service B, right, it should be also running. Okay. One thing you can see, service B is having two instances, and I'm running from gateway. Okay, I'm running from gateway, and I'm not mentioning any instance, right? I don't have anything. I don't have a service A is using a fin client to call the service B, but gateway is not using any fin client, right? But when it is trying to access the service B, just see the result what is happening. So gateway by default is doing the load balancing round robin fashion if you have multiple instances, okay, because you are using the discovery client and everything, right? So this is the, I think this completes the gateway pattern, right? So you need this code, I believe. Let me give you that. Dependency all you have, right? What are the pom.xml? So this is, if you want to write everything on the application properties, so this is the first thing. And sorry, second thing is okay, here is the second thing I am giving. Okay, and so if you're direct using this, you no need to use these two lines, right? Because there is no spring cloud config, so you need to, but you were using the spring cloud config, yes, you need to give this. Okay, then you need to do this thing. And sorry, and I think in the microservice training, okay, this gateway, right, this is the thing you need to give. I'm just copying this. You can copy which part is required for you. Enable Eureka client, enable discovery client, this is the Spring Boot application. Okay, just test it once, then we will discuss. तो सर्विस ए और सर्विस बी, ओके, सर्विस बी का दो इंस्टेंस रन किया ना, सर्विस बी का एक ही इंस्टेंस रन हो रहा है, सर्विस बी का। ए, हाँ, बिकॉज सर्विस बी कॉल हो रहा है ना, सर्विस बी इज रनिंग ऑन 60,000 पोर्ट, राइट? So service A is calling service B, right? So it is happening. So if you can just run another instance of service B, then I think you can see the result in 60,006 port. ठीक है, नहीं, सर्विस बी का एक दूसरा इंस्टेंस चालू कर दो, देन जस्ट राइट। हाँ, यहाँ पे राइट क्लिक करके देखो कहीं पे, नहीं वहाँ पे चेंज मत करो, और you need to give it in the PM option, right click, run Java application with rule, run on server नहीं, Java application में जाओ। अरे नहीं नहीं, इधर नहीं, इधर नहीं, मैविन मैविन में जाना पड़ेगा। राइट क्लिक, not here, run then मैविन, run as मैविन। मैविन का जो मैविन नॉर्मल बिल्ड कहाँ होता है? हाँ, उसमें जहाँ पे एक हाँ ये ऑप्शन आता है ना, यहाँ पे आप व्हाट you need to give goals will be settings.xml, what you need to give here, goal is यहाँ से आपने कैसे राइट क्लिक करके पूरा रन करके किया था, राइट? वहाँ पे कुछ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ऑप्शन नहीं आता है, राइट? रन एज जावा, वहाँ पे कुछ कुछ ओके ओके, सो यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का ऑप्शन आता है क्या? हाँ एग्जैक्टली, यहाँ पे जाके यू कैन डू वन थिंग, आर्गूमेंट्स में जाओ। वो जो आर्गूमेंट्स है ना, मेन के बाद देखो एक टैब है आर्गूमेंट, हाँ वी एम आर्गूमेंट में दो, वी एम आर्गूमेंट, हाँ आर्गूमेंट में दो, नीचे वाला वी एम आर्गूमेंट, नो नॉट प्रोग्राम आर्गूमेंट, हाँ यहाँ पे दो हाइफन डी कैपिटल डी सर्वर स्मॉल एस सर्वर डॉट पोर्ट 60,006, नहीं पोर्ट ओनली पोर्ट इज इक्वल टू 60,006, apply then run, शायद ये नाम डुप्लीकेट ना हो जाए, नहीं देखो रन हो रहा है, 60,006 पोर्ट लिया अभी, ठीक है। अभी जाओ देखो गेटवे यूरेका में, देखो 2 इंस्टेंस दिखा रहा है कि नहीं, उसको रिफ्रेश करो, 2 दिखा रहा है, ठीक है। होस्ट डॉट डॉकर इंटरनल, क्या बात है, पूरा डॉकर में चल रही है, ओके ठीक है, कोई नहीं, अभी जाके अभी एक बार टेस्ट करो, देखो वो चेंज होगा, बिकॉज वन इज रनिंग 60,005 एंड वन इज रनिंग 60,000, सो यहाँ पे सर्विस ए को पहले देखो, उसके बाद देखो क्या आता है, 60 क्लिक करो फिर से, 5 ही आ रहा है, सर्विस ए से क्लिक करो फिर से, ओके इट इज़ नॉट, ओके नाउ शो मी दैट सर्विस ए का कोड एक बार दिखाओ, सर्विस ए का कोड, मैसेज कंट्रोलर, ओके नीचे जाओ, सर्विस बी प्रॉक्सी पोर्ट, सर्विस बी प्रॉक्सी गेट पोर्ट, ओके सर्विस बी प्रॉक्सी दिखाओ, प्रॉक्सी प्रॉक्सी ऊपर ही था, कॉम डॉट फोटोन डॉट सर्विस डॉट प्रॉक्सी, फिन क्लाइंट एपीआई व्यू 1 सर्विस बी गेट पोर्ट, yes that's not a problem, सर्विस बी enable fin client लिखा था राइट उधर, रिफ्रेश को enable fin client, इधर fin client को enable किया, गेट मैपिंग, अच्छा, सर्विस बी का मेरे को एक बार पोर्ट दिखाओ ना। सर्विस बी का जो एपीआई का जो पोर्ट वाला इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है, पोर्ट कंट्रोलर जहाँ पे पोर्ट कहाँ से ले रहे हो? सर्वर डॉट पोर्ट से ले रहे हो, सर्वर डॉट पोर्ट वैल्यूज से ले रहे हो, सही है। ई किधर लिखा है? बूटस्ट्रैप डॉट प्रॉपर्टीज में, राइट? 60,005 एंड वी आर ओवरराइडिंग दिस to 60,006. So but it is not routing all the calls to 60,006. No, it is 60,006. How it is running? What can go wrong? मैसेज कंट्रोलर, एक बार एक काम करो ना, सर्विस ए से सीधा सर्विस बी को जैसे कॉल करते हो विदाउट गेटवे, एक बार कॉल करो। सर्विस ए का पोर्ट था 60,000 आई थिंक, फोर फोर ऐसा कुछ था। 60,000 पोर्ट डॉट एपीआई डॉट वी बना। स्लैश 2-3 बार हिट करो, देखो क्या आ रहा है। हिट करो फिर से, इधर से हो रहा है राइट? फिर से करो, फिर से करो, ठीक है। अभी अभी एक काम करो, अभी इसको करो, अभी सर्विस, ओके। एंड ओके, नाउ शो मी द गेटवे का जो कॉन्फ़िगरेशन मेरे को दिखाओ एक बार। सर्विस में और स्प्रिंग बूट एप्लीकेशन, राइट? एट दैट स्प्रिंग बूट एप्लीकेशन और एप्लीकेशन बूट्स, ओके सब सेम है। चलो फिर देखो एक बार 60,009 से एक बार हिट करके देखो सर्विस ए में क्या हो रहा है। आ रहा है ना? वो कभी कभी वो मतलब इंस्टेंस को जब रन किया तो इट विल टेक सम टाइम टू डू द थिंग्स, बट दिस इज द कोर आइडिया फॉर एनी गेटवे और एनीथिंग। अभी इसमें एक चीज़ है कि इफ़ यू वांट डोंट वांट टू एक्सपोज द सर्विस ए और सर्विस बी, इफ यू डोंट वांट टू एक्सपोज बिकॉज सर्विस बी इज इंटरनल, then you can avoid that, right? ठीक। before going to another pattern, just last thing for मैं प्रेजेंट करता हूँ। Okay, so before going to the last thing, or the, so this is a gateway, it is interesting and it is understandable, right? So यहाँ पे एक चीज़ हुआ कि आपका माइक्रो सर्विस का, so if I go to the first slide, right, what is the attribute of microservice or whatever the things, right? So location transparent, इसको हमने hit कर दिया, right? It is location transparent, yes, right? It is scalable. How much thing? Repeatable also it is a repeatable. Okay, now if if I thinks about this thing, so it is loosely coupled, decoupled, right? It is distributed in nature, small independent, we know small independent उसको और देते हैं, but ये जो basic fundamentally location transparent, repeatable and scalable, right? These are the things I have covered. Okay, now now what the next thing, right, in the microservice thing? So I told once, right, that if my eureka, so how many eureka instance do I have only one eureka instance. Okay, so everyone is, if my eureka instance is down, right, fin client can work, right, for some time, right? But problem is, if in the meantime if something got changed, right, I was showing you earlier, right? So Thin client know that 60,005 or 60,006 those are running, right? Before means it just uses its local cache. So Eureka server is down, no problem. Service A can call to service B because it knows the service B instance. But if one service B is down, it is not getting refreshed because Eureka server is down, right? How we can avoid that? Because so if you can think about it, Eureka server is the single point of failure, though service A and service B are running fine, right? Or ideally it is like that service B, so service B का एक instance अगर down हो गया, so all the request which will be route to that instance, those call will be impacted, right? Whereas service A, and assume that I have 100 service B, out of that 199 service B instances up, but still if we have one service B is down because of the Eureka client is down, right? And service A is doing load balancing by its own with the previous copy from the Eureka server where 100 service B were off, but one service got down. Because of that, that one call which is routing to that 100th one, that will be impacted, right? Yes or no? Re- तो उसको हम कैसे मतलब how we can how we can improve that thing, right? So that's what I think this Netflix and Spring, they came up with something that is a okay. यूरेका को आप मल्टी नोड क्लस्टर बना सकते हो, right? How to make the यूरेका मल्टी नोड क्लस्टर, लेट्स सी. ओके, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, यूरेका का भी मेरे पास एक ही इंस्टेंस चालू है. मैं अगर यूरेका का 3 इंस्टेंस चालू कर दूंगा, एंड आई विल मेक श्योर कि यूरेका will sync their data. What Eureka already having the functionality, they can sync their data between their own things, right? Acha, yeah, okay. So then what we can do, right? We can use that, the cluster instead of the single node. We can use that cluster for doing the discovery and the routing the things, right? So that's we call that Eureka cluster. Okay, let's see how we can build a Eureka cluster using at least two node, right? Two node will be fine from the Eureka perspective, and two node, if those two nodes are hosted in a distributed manner, like two or three nodes, separate IP addresses, whereas it is very difficult to go down, right? For two nodes at the same time, right? If we can do this thing, then we are somehow, you know hold on, just a minute, just give me 1 minute, huh? I'll just come back. Is it audible now? Okay, so what I was saying, you got the idea, right? Why Eureka cluster is required instead of a single node, right? Now let's see how we can do that thing, right? So what we need to do actually to run a Eureka cluster instead of the Eureka things. Okay, so simple thing, nothing much, but few magics we need to do. Okay, okay. So what I'll do, I'll go to my configuration of Eureka properties, and just a minute, because this is a okay, don't get confused, I'll just try to solve it. Okay. So this is actually I initially earlier I did on YML format, so that's what it is showing like this. Now here I need to give Spring profile application name is not required, but because it is coming from the gateway, right? Then server dot port is required. Okay, ठीक है. इसको कमेंट आउट करते हैं. यूरेका client registration with यूरेका. Just give me some time. Let me just format it. Then I will explain what is required here. You're running on 60,008. Okay, so let me run it now. Take it. Let me just type it, then I will fix it to 1 and 3. Take it. 2 and 3. Take it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create three profiles. One is the peer 1, peer 2, peer 3, right? And peer 1 profile is assume that I have, so when you give the local host or anything, don't get it confused, right? Let me do one thing. Why I'm using this profile, right? And peer 1, peer 2 and peer 3, Eureka instance at host name, and okay, so you can do one thing. Instead of this server.com, right, you can just type localhost. Localhost, and it is like localhost. Okay. Instead of host name is not mandatory, but I'm just giving it, right? So what I'm trying to say here, the default zone, if you can see, every configuration or every profile is having the default zone. It is mentioning the other two IP addresses. So suppose here is my peer 2, second peer, right? It should run on the 9002 port, and it should have the default zone like 9001 and 3. Now if I'm running the peer 3 in the 9003 port, it should have 1 and 2. Okay, so internally it will, what it will, when I need to keep it in this format, let me give you the things, right? I need to create actually three files, not single files. I need to create three files. Okay, copy, and I need to paste it. Okay, and I need to use peer hyphen 1. Okay, Eureka peer 1 dot properties. Okay, then copy, paste ps2 and paste peer 3. Okay, now in this peer 2 peer 3 refactor, ठीक है. In the peer 2 and peer 3, what I need to, so peer 1, that is fine, right? Now let me clear all the things. This is my Eureka properties, right? If Eureka is running with the default profiles, right, it should have only one instance, right? So let me run this, right? And I'll, now if I am having a peer 1 properties, or peer 1 properties, so I'll just keep the, let me delete everything, only I will keep the, this is the things I want to keep it. ठीक है, peer 2 fine, I will delete everything, only, sorry, ps2, okay, peer 3. ये क्या हुआ, ये डॉट प्रॉपर्टीज लिया नहीं क्या, सर लिया नहीं, चलो इसको और डिलीट करते हैं. why it is doing something wrong. Properties दोनों लिया ये क्यों नहीं लिया? नहीं git stretching में ठीक है. I think it will not have a problem. होस्ट नेम में मेरे को लोकल होस्ट चाहिए and here I am giving 9001 and 9002. ठीक है. This is the server port, this is the profile, this is the peer 3. ठीक है. Okay. Now what I need to do now, अभी मेरा जो भी यूए का सर्वर है उसको मैं 3 इंस्टेंस रन करूंगा यूजिंग दिस 3 प्रोफाइल, डिफरेंट प्रोफाइल, राइट. वन इज peer 1, peer 2 and peer 3. So then let's see what is happening and how the and how the magic is happening. Okay, so let me first commit it. Git push. ठीक है. Now let me run this. अच्छा, few more things I think we need to do the changes. Every service, because हमने एक पोर्ट चेंज किया, राइट. तो हमको जो भी होगा, सो लेट मी गिव यू द आइडिया हाउ माई, मतलब हु विल बी द क्लाइंट, हाउ दे विल कनेक्ट टू दैट यूरेका, राइट. सो जैसे सर्विस ए, ये भी यूरेका का डिफ़ॉल्ट जोन है, राइट. सो व्हाट इट नीड्स टू नीड, इट विल हैव ऑल द 3 एंड पॉइंट, नॉट द 2 एंड पॉइंट, राइट. ऑल द 3 एंड पॉइंट. ठीक है. 1 2 देन 3. ठीक है. नाउ सर्विस बी भी सेम ही होगा. सर्विस बी भी सेम ही होगा. एंड जो यूरेका प्रॉपर्टीज सही है, सॉरी, गेटवे और डॉट प्रॉपर्टीज में भी सेम चीज़ होगा. ओके. नाउ लेट्स रिफ्रेश all the things. First of all, let me do one thing. Let me, अच्छा इसको commit कर देते हैं. Let me commit everything. Okay, then push. git push. अभी विंडो में जाते हैं. Sorry, microservice training. Then what we'll do, we'll go to the Eureka server. First of all, let me stop everything because everything will get the change. Sorry, config server नहीं भी स्टार्ट करते तो चलता है. ठीक है, कोई नहीं, सबको एक एक करके स्टार्ट करेंगे. ठीक है, everything is off, right. Now let's go to the config server first we need to run the config server. ठीक है, because this is the endpoint for one. Okay, config server is running. Now we'll go to the Eureka. Okay, Eureka server application. Now if I go to the Eureka server application, right, So it will give me the, if I want to edit the, here I need to give the add the VM option, right? Add VM option. What I need to give, d string profiles dot active. I need to give pr-1, right? सो इसमें मैं इसको नाम कर देता हूँ यूरेका सर्वर एप्लीकेशन 1, ठीक है? अप्लाई, लेट्स सी इफ इट इज रनिंग और नॉट. ओके सॉरी, आई नीड टू रन इट. कॉन्फ़िगरेशन तो कर दिया हम तो. Profile is PR1, which is fine. Right. But it is not working. Okay, I think I need to explicitly give those two things. I haven't gave, so I don't know if it is trying. Let me see that what is happening. Right, Eureka server application 1 तो मैंने चालू कर दिया. Let's see that if it is at least running or not in the proper, right? So I need to give the local host. Then I need to give 9001. Yes, it is running, right? And if you can see, अवेलेबिलिटी जोन में अभी कोई नहीं है, ठीक है? लेट्स सी द अदर थिंग्स. एक प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, ठीक है मैं देखता हूँ, अगर नहीं चलता है तो देन वी नीड टू यूज सम अदर अप्रोच. लेट मी टेक ए लुक फर्स्ट. कॉपी टू PR2. डिफ़ॉल्ट जोन में, डिफ़ॉल्ट जोन में ये क्या दिया? डिफ़ॉल्ट जोन सर्वर डॉट प्रोफाइल एक्टिव एंड प्रोफाइल सर्वर डॉट कोड. अरे यार, होस्ट नेम में मैंने तो यही दे दिया, गलत दे दिया. होस्ट नेम इसका लोकल होस्ट दे दिया. I think host name doesn't matter. Still see that what is the problem. We might get 1 or 3 तो दिया है. Okay, let me take a look. ठीक है. Let me take a look if it is showing the same thing or if it is. इसका अवेलेबिलिटी जोन ये ढूंढ पाया कि नहीं ढूंढ पाया, तो there is a problem. So I think we need to use some different approach. DB replicas ये है ना, सॉरी रजिस्टर replicas है तो ओके. 9003 यूरेका, 9001 यूरेका, सही है ना? आई थिंक सो, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. ले तो लिया है इंस्टेंस. अच्छा, इंस्टेंस करेंगे, ठीक है. DB रेप्लिकास लोकल होस्ट, ठीक है. दैट्स नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम। अभी Peer 3 में रन करते हैं, ठीक है। कॉपी, ठीक है, इसको हम Peer 3 में देते हैं, ठीक है। उसके बाद इसको रन करते हैं। ठीक है, इट इज़ रनिंग फाइन। देन व्हाट विल डू, वी विल रन ए सर्विस ए। एक सर्विस को आप करके देखते हैं तीनों जगह रजिस्टर हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, ओके। Yeah, registration status success. Now let me take a look. In the 90,002 it is showing or not. सॉरी, ये तो नहीं है। What it is saying, थोड़ा वेट करना पड़ता है। अच्छा सर, 90,003 में देखो हो गया, राइट। अभी मैं सॉरी Ctrl+J 2 में देखता हूँ इसका क्या हालत है। 2 में अभी तक नहीं हुआ, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम। अनअवेलेबल रेप्लिकास, क्या बोल रहा है, अनअवेलेबल रेप्लिकास, ओके। रजिस्टर रेप्लिका, बट इसको अनअवेलेबल बोल रही है, क्यों। अच्छा 2 में बोल रहे हैं कि मेरे को रेप्लिका नहीं मिला, तो वो जाके किधर अवेलेबल हुआ। 90,003 क्या बोल रहे हैं, 90,001 बोल रहे हैं कि मेरे पास कोई रेप्लिका है ही नहीं। ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं। थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, बट लेट मी टेक ए लुक। अलग अलग से ओपन करते हैं। लोकल होस्ट 9002, ये बोल रहा है कि मेरे पास कोई नहीं है। ये क्या बोल रहे हैं, लोकल होस्ट 9003। ओके, ये भी अलग से चल रहा है। 90,003 इज ओके। आई थिंक आई गॉट द पॉइंट। लेट मी टेक ए लुक। ओनली 90,002 इज सेइंग कि मेरे पास दो चीज़ मेरे को पता है। यहाँ पे 90,003 बोल रहे हैं कि मेरे पास कोई रजिस्टर्ड रेप्लिकास है ही नहीं, और 90,001 भी बोल रहे हैं मेरे पास कोई रजिस्टर्ड रेप्लिका है ही नहीं। ठीक है, इसको पहले फिक्स करते हैं। आई थिंक गॉट द पॉइंट, लेट मी टेक ए लुक। बिकॉज ये कभी कभी ये क्या होता है ना, थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम करता है। मैं बताता हूँ क्या प्रॉब्लम होता है, ओके। सो यस, दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम, गॉट। देखो, एक्चुअली आई जस्ट चेंज समथिंग, देन इट विल वर्क। जस्ट टेक ए लुक। ये कभी कभी क्या करता है ना, यूरेका का एक कुछ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन होता है कि आपका अगर सिस्टम मतलब जो भी सेम होस्ट मशीन पे रन हो रहा है, देन इट विल नॉट रन एज अ क्लस्टर। ठीक है, मतलब होता है कि समझ लो कि आपका लोकल सिस्टम है, आप आपके पास एक ही सिस्टम है और उसमें 3 पोर्ट में आप अलग अलग रन कर रहे हो, देन इट माइट समटाइम इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट टू कन्फिगर, राइट। तो उसके लिए एक प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्व कर सकते हैं कि जैसे हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि अ, मतलब यूरेका को हम बुद्धू बना सकते हैं कि मेरे पास 3 सर्वर है, एक का नाम है peer1.server.com, एक का नाम है peer2.server.com एंड तीसरे का नाम है peer3.server.com, राइट। एंड दिस थ्री will be mapped to my only one system that is a local host। ठीक है, और वॉट एवर द 192.168.0.3 जो भी है, राइट, उसी को हम होस्ट कर सकते हैं। उसके लिए क्या मतलब इसमें क्या करना पड़ेगा मैं दिखा देता हूँ। सो in Mac, what I think I did earlier, so let me show you. So if you go to the uh, cd etc host, etc host कहाँ पे जाना पड़ता है, एक मिनट रुक जाओ। sudo nano etc host, sorry। सो इफ यू कैन सी दिस इज माय होस्ट मशीन। तो यहाँ पे कैसा होता है ना कि आपका लोकल होस्ट जैसे आप देते हैं, लोकल होस्ट इज इजिकल टू 127.0.0.1, राइट। तो यहाँ पे आप ऐड कर सकते हो, कुछ भी नेम ऐड कर सकते हो, ये मेरा सर्वर है। सो योर लोकल होस्ट विल बी लुक्स लाइक ए सर्वर। सो peer1.server.com, peer2.server.com, peer3.server.com, but internally all those are running on the 127.0.0.1। ठीक है, तो समझ लो कि मैंने ये जो 3 एंट्री मैंने बनाया है, अब यहाँ पे एंट्री ऐड भी कर सकते हो। इफ़ आई राइट जस्ट आई, इट विल गिव मी दैट, आप यहाँ पे कुछ भी लिख सकते हो, राइट। सो मैंने यहाँ पे 3 सर्वर होस्ट किए, एक सिस्टम में 3 सर्वर को होस्ट किया, राइट। अभी मैं इसको यूज़ करूँगा कैसे, लेट मी कॉपी दिस थिंग, आई थिंक देन इट विल वर्क। So peer1, right? So now what I'll do, I'll first use that peer1.server, sorry, peer1server.com। ठीक है, अभी इसको ही मैं कॉपी करता हूँ, सो इट विल बी फाइन। ये होगा मेरा peer2 90,002, यहाँ पे मेरा peer1 होगा 90,001 यूरेका, और peer3 90,003 यूरेका। दिस विल बी माई peer2, this is peer3 90,003, here's the problem, 90,001, this will be 2 and this will be 3, sorry। ठीक है, this is my things, and everywhere you just need to give Service. So I need to. Oh, sorry. Gateway service. ठीक है, थिंक एक मिनट में प्रॉब्लम है 90,002 90,003 ठीक है। ठीक है, पीयर वन में देख लेता हूँ, पीयर वन टू थ्री ये पीयर वन है, ठीक है। वन थ्री है, ठीक है। थ्री वन टू है। Let me push it. Then I'll go to the window of microservice training. Then I will just stop this service. Let me run this one by one. Eureka server, this is the configuration I'm using. What spring profiles dot active peer one, सही है। Yes, if I run the OK and if I run it, let me see what is happening. Peer one dot server dot com. Okay. Let's see what is happening with other two. Unavailable register, please. Okay. Just a minute. Last thing, I'll just try it. Else, I'll take a look why it is not happening. I'll just make it explicitly true here. Let it run. Yeah, I think now it is running. Adding new peer node, right? So it is now adding one more node. Let me take a look now. Yeah, I need to register it. I think that was the problem. Let me take a 9001 only. Yeah. Unavailable, available replicas. Are available हो गया. Now if I do service 2 सारे available हो गया. Service 3 ठीक है. सारे available हो गया, right? Now I'll just do one thing quickly. If I now run this service A, service B, whatever, right? It will be registered in three places. Let's see. Run service B, then the gateway, everything will run fine, not an issue. Okay, so here I think we are using a multi-node Eureka cluster. So Eureka is having 3 instances, gateway is having 1 instance, and all the service, whatever, how many instances you want to host it. Okay, there's no issue. Okay. So I think this is the overall things till the gateway or till the routing pattern. Okay. ठीक है, I'll just upload the code. Let me take a look. Service A has been done. So let me show in three places service A is showing or not. So first place is here. Okay, let me refresh it. I can see the service A, right? Here if I refresh this, I can see the service A, and here if I can refresh it, I can see the service A. Though if any of the any of the pair is down, there is no problem. Any Eureka pair who is available, that can be worked, right? You can play with it with just downing one, then use that fin client if it is getting the things or not, right? Down, if you do that, if you down two, it will also work. If you down three, then fin client has some problem because it might route to the, if any service is down, it might route to that service. Okay, so this is the I think replication, and everything is running fine. So if I now, if I go to, service A, service B, right, it is working fine. No, fine, not fine, not running fine. Why service B, service B is not yet registered? Yes, so it took some time. Okay, so 60,005, right? Service B, because one instance, only single instance of service B is running. Now if I run to service A, right, so it is also routing to that service B, right? Now you can think of, and you can, think about the this diagram where we did, right? हमारे पास एक्चुअल दो ही सर्विस है, क्लाइंट ए, क्लाइंट बी, बट इसको माइक्रो सर्विस में लेके आने के लिए हाउ मच थिंग वी नीड टू डू, वी नीड टू host a config server, we need to host a Spring Cloud Gateway, we need to host 3 Eureka server, right? So it will be replicated, right? And it will be, work independently. Okay, so this is the thing for routing pattern. Now next thing what we are going to do, I think uh, we are going to use the circuit breaker pattern. That means what will happen if service B is down, right? What is the default limit, how we can, or the thing is like that, if someone is trying to host crash your server, right? That I'll just a random thing, मैं एक API को randomly call करूँगा जितना टाइम हो सकता है, right? How you can protect your service from that, right? That is the fault tolerance we call, or something is down, if the service B is down, what I want to do some default thing, right? How we can do this thing. Okay, this is the next pattern we will have, that is the circuit breaker pattern of the client resilience pattern. Okay, just minute, I'll just give you, if you understand, you are able to understand this thing, then I think most of the things is clear to you and how it is thing. The next 2 to 3 things what we are going to discuss, one is right circuit breaker, and next what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the what is security pattern, right? So from here, if you can understand, right, like type of this, there will be auth server, every client will be the resource server, and how we can integrate it will be very easy, right? So security pattern, how we can stateless security pattern, right? Every client can uh, you know uh, identify who is the user, authenticity, everything. After that, I think we are going to use some time of communication instead of this real-time communication. How can you use the stream, right? Using some asynchronous messaging. Then finally, I think logging pattern, and that will end up your understanding of microservice. After that, you can explore, some other things. Okay, so let's today let's connect tomorrow for the next thing. Okay, bye.